that I didn't even know was possible. It brought me back to being 8 years old and seeing people do Tai Chi in my local park. Their eyes closed, kind of moving their hands like this. I thought they looked kind of funny. But now I got it. Tai Chi was a vehicle for these people to be more peaceful and present and calm and connected. And meditation and mindfulness and eating breakfast in silence, these were vehicles allowing me to be more peaceful and present and calm and connected. Sitting on the airplane coming home after 4 months of traveling abroad, I began to see how all the dots in my past were starting to connect. Being at school with a severe anxiety and a skin condition was almost like my inner GPS was telling me that something was off, that I kind of had to reroute. And this led me to start questioning everything. I got in touch with this calling, this inner voice telling me to travel. And when I finally mustered the courage to answer that call and take that leap of faith, everything changed. And living in this town in Guatemala without my phone and experiencing this different way of life, and then going down the mindful path and learning about mindfulness and meditation in Nicaragua. And then as I was traveling, I kept a journal, and I was always journaling and sharing my experiences, and I realized I had this passion, this love for storytelling. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to write a book about this. I have to share my journey going from anxiety and depression to peace and purpose. Being home and speaking at high schools and colleges around California, it is shocking to see that what I thought had been unique to me, this severe anxiety and depression, is something that millions of young people are experiencing around the country right now. This is insane. This is insane that 5,000 young people take their lives each year, a rate that has tripled since the 1960s. This is insane. This is insane that anxiety and depression rates among high school and college students have shot up 5 to 8 times more than just 50 years ago. Why are depression and anxiety rates skyrocketing among youth today? I get so fired up about this because I remember being there in my dorm stairwell in tears and just so angry and upset and confused. I get so fired up about this because I remember feeling trapped and scared of that unknown path. And I get so fired up about this because I know if I could shift from anxiety and depression to peace and purpose, then the millions of other young people around this country can as well. We all can. And that's why I wrote my book, Off the Beaten Trail. The solution, though, isn't dropping everything and hopping on a flight to Guatemala. That was part of my story and what my inner voice was telling me to do. There are millions of students and kids around this country, yet we're funneling them down just one path. And while that traditional education system may work for some kids, that's great, but not all, because what fascinates Chandler might bore Peter, and what lights up Nikki might have no interest to Bella. And that's okay. This disconnect is due to a misalignment with how we're living. And this disconnect, which I remember feeling so vividly, is causing anxiety and much worse. We feel this intense pressure to be something that we're not. We're immersed in this culture where we're forced to memorize information and dump it on a test, where our value is defined by letter grades and numbers. We feel this intense pressure to be a 5.0 student who's the president of 4 clubs, has cured cancer, and has 100,000 Instagram followers. And what if we pursued what we were truly curious about? What would that look like? What would that feel like when we have the audacity to pursue what we truly want? Not what mom or dad or cousin Eric or Steve wants, but what we truly desire. Passion replaces anxiety. Passion replaces anxiety. So what can we do? What can we do as students and as parents and adults and educators? Be conscious of how you're using social media. Social media can be this great tool that can connect us and help us solve problems and create solutions and bring us together, but it can also do the opposite and isolate us, and make us feel alone and unhappy. At the end of the day, social media is just a tool, and we have to be conscious of how we're using the tool and not letting the tool use us. Embrace mindfulness. Embrace calm and peace and presence and connection. And last but not least, have courage. Courage to listen to your inner voice. Courage to follow it, even if it leads you in an unknown direction. My favorite quote is by Steve Jobs. He said, "You cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future." What do you truly desire? Close your eyes. I invite you. What is that thing or that dream that calls out to you? What makes you come alive? What lights you up? And how does that feel in your heart, in your legs, in your stomach, your arms, and your chest? If you listen to this inner voice, what is the worst thing that could happen? And if you listen to this inner voice and follow it, what is the best thing that could happen? Thank you.